What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Lions video. Today we have a new batch of Lions news and rumors that have come out over the past couple of days. Now, these rumors consist of some potential free agents the Lions could possibly be interested in signing yet with their $25 million in cap space. Some of the news includes some draft prospects the Lions have been interested in, some of the top draft prospects the Lions have been meeting with, as well as the big couple of trades, the big pair of trades that happened yesterday that could and will impact the Detroit Lions come draft night. Now, before we get into the video, before we start talking about these news and rumors surrounding our Lions team, if you're new to the channel and are enjoying this Detroit Lions content, please consider liking the videos and subscribing to the channel. It takes just 2 seconds out of your day to do so. It's quick, free, and easy. So if you could take those 2 seconds to hit the like and the subscribe button, I would be greatly appreciative for it. But with all that being said, and without any further ado, let's get right into talking about this Detroit Lions news and rumors that have surfaced over the past couple of days and what this means for our Detroit Lions as they continue through the offseason. Now, starting with the draft news, starting with the big news that came out the other day about the Detroit Lions' potential first-round pick. The Penn State Pro Day happened a few days ago, and the Detroit Lions were among many teams. I believe all 32 teams attended the Penn State Pro Day. Now, one of the biggest people that the Lions went there to watch, and one of the biggest reasons the Lions attended Penn State's Pro Day was to go watch Penn State linebacker Micah Parsons partake in some of the drills and see where his athletic ability is after sitting out a full year of college football, of course opting out of the 2020 NCAA season. Now, Micah Parsons did not disappoint at his pro day, measuring in at over 6'3", 246 pounds at the linebacker position. That is very good size for a linebacker. That is really impressive size, and if that is his size and playing weight for the season, that would make him one of our biggest and heaviest linebackers for the 2021 season. However, just because he measured in at a big height and measured in at a very solid weight for the linebacker, he actually tested very well athletically, reportedly running in the 4.39s for the 40-yard dash, putting up 19 reps on the bench press as well as a 34-inch vertical. Micah Parsons tested incredibly well at his pro day, as many NFL teams were expecting him to do so. Now, there's a little controversy around these numbers. There's a little controversy around the Penn State Pro Day, as many people don't believe Micah Parsons actually ran in the 4.3s, and many people do not believe that he ran slower than his defensive line teammate, who was reported running in the 4.3s as well. Regardless of if his 40 is correct or not, Micah Parsons tested incredibly well from the athletic standpoint, which was very expected of him. Micah Parsons' biggest strengths as a prospect are his athleticism, his athletic potential, what he can do for you on the field, the plays that he can make with his speed and his strength, the plays that he can make for you with his athletic ability. And his biggest cons are some of the mental side, some of the coverage things, some of the things he needs to work on from the mental side of the game. Those are his biggest cons on his tape. So he was expected to test very well athletically, and after sitting out a full year of college football, he came out and showed exactly what he's capable of, went out and showed exactly that he still has all that athletic ability, has all that athletic potential to go and be a top NFL draft selection. Now, after Micah Parsons' impressive pro day, the Detroit Lions did have a one-on-one meeting with the Penn State linebacker, and when asked about it, Micah Parsons actually told the media that this was not the first time that the Lions had talked to him. It was not the first time he was interviewed by the Detroit Lions about being one of their potential draft selections. Now, of course, this does not mean that Micah Parsons will be going at the 7th overall pick. Of course, this does not mean that the Lions will select Micah Parsons even if they do trade down. However, this does put a little bit more credibility to some of the people that are asking and are preaching for Micah Parsons to be drafted. Now, Micah Parsons is a very good player, is a very first-round caliber linebacker. He is a good player, is a very good linebacker, has a little bit of question marks, has a few question marks off the field, not necessarily that have been proven. However, there have been a couple of questions surrounding his character off the field, which is slightly concerning, but we're not going to get into that today. The biggest piece of news for this is that the Lions are very interested in Micah Parsons. The Lions, after interviewing multiple times, I think Micah Parsons has to go on the draft board. He has to be relatively high if you're going to predict who the Lions are going to select, because for the first time in a while, we have a draft prospect that has said they have met with the Lions multiple times about potentially being selected by the team. Now, moving on to the first rumor of today's video, and the only rumor we have for today, and this is the rumor that the Lions are potentially looking for a top cornerback and are looking to potentially add veteran cornerback AJ Bouye to the secondary. Now, AJ Bouye is 29 years of age. As of last year, measured in at 6 foot, 191 pounds. In his 8 years, in his 8 seasons as an NFL pro around the NFL, he has totaled 14 interceptions and 72 passes defended. He's been a very solid cornerback. He's been a very solid number 2 corner for a lot of different NFL teams over the years. Was the number 2 cornerback in Jacksonville when they had one of their best seasons. Was a very good cornerback in Houston before that. Went to the Broncos, went to Denver, had a little bit of a down season, but so did that entire Denver Broncos team. They really underperformed as a team last year, I felt. So that, he had a down year last year, but for the most part throughout his career, he has been a very, very solid cornerback and has been really, really good for every single NFL team that he's played for. It is rumored that the Detroit Lions are looking to add AJ Bouye as a veteran member of their secondary, which is something they do not have. Jeff Okudah is just going into his sophomore campaign. Amani Oruwariye is just going into his 3rd season. Mike Ford, I believe, is only 25. Tracy Walker is incredibly young. Will Harris is incredibly young. Our entire secondary is a very, very young group of guys, and guys with a lot of potential, guys with a lot of upside, and guys that could very well develop into very good NFL veterans, but guys nonetheless that just simply aren't there yet. They're just young players. Jeff Okudah is young. Amani is young. Tracy Walker is young. Mike Ford is a young guy. Like, they have a lot of young secondary members, and they really got rid of all of their veterans. They really got rid of all the veteran presence in that secondary. Deron Harmon looks to be gone. Desmond Trufant is gone. Justin Coleman is gone. The other secondary veteran players are no longer in the building. So it makes sense that the Lions would be looking to add somebody with experience. It makes sense that the Lions would be looking to add a veteran cornerback to kind of stabilize that room if some of the young guys underperform, or if some of the young guys just don't quite live up to what the expectations are for them. I think bringing in a veteran quarterback would be a very, very good move for the Detroit Lions. As I mentioned earlier, they have $25 million in cap. The Detroit Lions have a lot of cap space because Brad Holmes is an absolute wizard. Again, a topic for another video, but my God, Brad Holmes is very, very good at his job. He's freed up over $25 million of cap space. He could be saving that for next year when a bunch of good free agents hit the market yet again. When the cap does go up, that would give us even more space. He may be saving it for next year for a big splash in free agency next season, or he could potentially be looking to use some of that money for more talent this year to bring in more bodies and bring in more talent to this Lions organization. Now, AJ Bouye would not be my first pick at the cornerback spot. AJ Bouye would not be my first guy that I would look to add to the Lions team. However, as I said, in 8 years, he has 14 interceptions and 72 passes defended. He does not get beat often. He's a really good cornerback, has been a very good cornerback in the NFL. And if we get him for the right price, if we get him for a 1-year cheap deal, 1 year, $1.52 million, like the contracts Brad Holmes has been giving out, I would be more than happy with the signing of AJ Bouye. It would bring veteran presence. And of course, if you've been paying attention to the Lions media recently, it seems as though they have been very interested in adding a couple of secondary players. And as it has been rumored, they have been in contact with DeMonte Casey, the safety formerly of the Atlanta Falcons. It's been reported that they've had talks with Jaron Kearse, who went to the Cowboys, K'Wan Williams, who went back to the 49ers, as well as John Johnson, who went to Cleveland, and Keanu Neal, who coincidentally also went to Dallas. So it seems realistic the Lions are looking to add a couple more secondaries, a couple veterans to that secondary that is incredibly young. So AJ Bouye would not be the biggest shock in the world. AJ Bouye does make a little bit of sense sense to the Detroit Lions. Veteran presence, a guy that's been around the NFL, a guy that's been in multiple systems, multiple schemes, and a guy that has proven time and time again that he can make plays in the air and he can be a top secondary member for you when he's put in the right system and playing for the right coordinator. Moving on to some of the other prospects the Lions have been rumored to talk with. The Lions attended Dwayne Eskridge's pro day at Western Michigan. He showed out. He had a very, very good day for the Western Michigan Broncos at his pro day. Had a very good 40, weighed in at a decent size. Obviously, still a little undersized. However, he looked pretty good. He looked really sharp, really clean in his routes, looked really good in his athletic testing. I was very impressed with him, and the Lions went down there and they sent scouts out there to scout out Dwayne Eskridge. They also visited Zach Wilson yesterday at his pro day, just like many other NFL teams. Now, this does not mean that they are looking to trade up for Zach Wilson. However, it is interesting that they are attending quarterback pro days. Of course, they may just be doing their due diligence. They may just be doing what they need to do and just covering all their bases, covering as much as they can, leaving no stone unturned. However, it is interesting that the Lions have attended 3 of the big 4 pro days, being Trevor Lawrence's, Trey Lance's, and Zach Wilson's, with Justin Fields yet to come. Now, the Lions have also scouted many Alabama players. They sent, I believe, both Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell to the Alabama pro day, talking with wide receivers Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, as well as talking to Najee Harris in some meetings. Now, again, very similarly to Micah Parsons and the other guys, this does not mean that we're going to draft these players at 7. This does not mean that they are on the radar. This does not mean that they are, givens to be selected. This could just be them doing their job and leaving no stone unturned. However, it does seem interesting that both the general manager as well as the head coach both attended the Bama Pro Day to talk to Alabama prospects. There are also several other players. I believe they went to the Georgia Pro Day. They sent John Dorsey out to the Pro Day at Georgia University to scout out guys like Azeez Ojulari, Eric Stokes, and some of the other Georgia Bulldogs, as well as a couple other big name guys around the country. Now, moving on to the last piece of news for today's video, talking still about the upcoming draft class, and this is not directly Lions news. However, this is news that is going to very, very realistically come back and either hurt or be very, very good for the Detroit Lions. And as of right now, I cannot tell you one way or the other. Now, if you were unaware, yesterday the Miami Dolphins made a couple of big moves within the draft order as they traded their 3rd overall pick away to the 49ers for an absolute haul. They traded down to the 12th overall pick, letting the Niners move up to the 3rd overall selection, seemingly to go and get a quarterback at 3, whether that be Fields, Wilson, or Lance. Whichever quarterback does end up falling, and whoever they have at the top of their board is likely who they will be taking with the 3rd overall selection. But Miami wasn't done there. Miami then traded back up into the top 10 by trading their 12th overall pick, I believe another 1st round pick, and something else with the Philadelphia Eagles to acquire the 6th overall pick, as well as a selection in the 150 range. Now, this of course stirs up the draft a lot. This of course makes the Detroit Lions, puts them in a very different situation than where they were a few days ago. Now, this likely means that 3 quarterbacks are guaranteed to come off the board. I think Trevor Lawrence goes at 1. I think Zach Wilson goes at 2. And I think it's pretty realistic that Justin Fields goes at 3. Now, for Atlanta, I'm not convinced that they're taking a quarterback. They may be looking to get a top weapon in the NFL draft. They may be looking to get, a Kyle Pitts. They may be looking to get a Jamar Chase as Julio Jones is getting older. Julio Jones is an older player on a bad contract. Obviously, Calvin Ridley is a guy that's going to be asking for a lot of money very soon. They could be looking to find that next Julio Jones. So that's always possible. The quarterback is possible, but I think the way that they're structured, I think they're going to try to win one more season with Julio and with Matt Ryan before they go with a quarterback. You move on to Cincinnati. They're not going to take a quarterback. And then you move on to Miami. Technically, they could take a quarterback. Tua did not look particularly well a season ago. However, I don't think it's super realistic that they go back-to-back years picking a quarterback in the top 10, which would leave the Detroit Lions either a top quarterback prospect, a top wide receiver prospect, or a top offensive line prospect. So although the draft has changed a little bit, and although the order may be different, the Lions are not in that different of a situation, and this could actually help the Detroit Lions. I don't know exactly how this draft is going to go out. We're not exactly sure where this draft is going to go. We don't know exactly whether the Lions are going to, we don't know where the 49ers are going to go. We don't know where the Dolphins are going to go. The Dolphins may draft Jamar Chase. The Bengals could draft Jamar Chase. The Falcons could draft Jamar Chase for all we know. Like, we don't know exactly what's going on yet. However, this could be very, very impactful for the Detroit Lions. And this could either be really bad because all the big name prospects, all the quarterbacks are off the board by the time Detroit's pick comes around, or this is going to make another team incredibly desperate and make them give up even more draft picks to move up to 7 just so they can get their last guy. Now, with that being said, and with all of that being over, that is all we got for you guys today. That is all the news and rumors that have come out over the past couple of days for the Detroit Lions. If you're new to the channel, as I said in the beginning, please consider liking the videos and subscribing to the channel. It takes just 2 seconds out of every day to do so. It's quick, free, and easy, and you could be helping us hit that 1,000 subscriber mark sooner rather than later. If you could take 2 seconds to like and subscribe if you have not done so already, I'd be greatly appreciative for it. But with all that being said, that's all I got for you guys today. If there's more Lions news, if there's more Lions rumors to come out, I will of course make another video letting everybody know. But until then, that's all I got for you guys right now. Thank you all so very much for watching, and of course, as always, go Lions.